Hey everyone, this is Seema, and as your English teacher, I want to remind you that if you want to make your journey of English learning impeccable, then you must use the best advanced English phrases. Well, that is the reason why I am bringing you a lesson on the advanced English phrases using a very common word, thing. Now the word thing, let me tell you, it is one of the most vague word. I mean, thing could be anything, right? It could be a laptop, it could be a mobile. So what advanced phrases can I use out of this really vague word? Well, let me tell you that because it is a vague word, you can use this word in many advanced English phrases. And let me tell you, advanced English phrases are also called C1 phrases or advanced level of English phrases. And that is why if you use these phrases, what's going to happen? Well, it is guaranteed to make your language natural and fluent. And that's our goal, isn't it? To sound natural and fluent. Before we proceed further in this lesson, let me show you something really interesting. Well, we have designed a Smart English Fluency course. Well, what course is this? Now, as you can see, this course has got 3 parts, but as the name suggests, this course is meant to make you a natural and a fluent speaker, which is our goal, right? Let me tell you that this entire course has a total of 400 best phrases, best advanced English phrases, which will make you sound natural when you're speaking English. Now, a lot of times, most of you sound very stilted, very unnatural because you're using basic English. You are using textbookish English, right? But with this course, you will sound natural because this entire course is designed to help you speak naturally and fluently. Well, this course has got 3 parts, as you can see. The first 2 parts are done by my fellow trainers, Niharika and Christine, and I've brought to you the 3rd part of this course. But don't forget to know more about this course by clicking onto the link in the description of this video. All right? Well, that's about learning English the more natural way. But as we are at it, let me get on to this lesson, which is thing. And our first phrase for thing is having a thing about something. Well, this sounds like too many things are in one phrase, but let me tell you, having a thing about something is a very smart English phrase, which means you are describing something that you are very strongly interested in. You really like it a lot, right? In fact, sometimes you may even have an obsession with it. You may be obsessed with it. So you either like it a lot or you are obsessed with it, which sort of is the same thing, right? So, in a sentence, you can say, he always had a thing about robotics. Maybe that's why he got into AI learning. AI is the short form of artificial intelligence, right? So, he always had a thing about robotics, which means he was strongly interested in it. In fact, he was obsessed with it. And that is what having a thing about something means. What do you have a thing about? Make sure you put that in the comments below. So as you can see, if I say I am strongly interested, well, that's sort of basic English. But on the other hand, if I say I have a thing about robotics or I have a thing about photography, it sounds more advanced and it sounds more natural, just like a natural speaker. Okay? Anyway, let's move on to our next phrase, which is just one of those things. Well, there are many things, but if I'm referring to just one of those many things, what does that mean? Let's have a look. This is a phrase, and you're using this phrase why? Because you want to say that something has happened, some incident, and you had no power. You did not have the power or the ability to change it. Well, that's life, right? A lot of things happen in life, and sometimes you don't have the power to do anything about it. That's when you can use this phrase. Let's look at this phrase in a sentence. Losing my keys this morning was just one of those things that added to the chaos of my day. Well, this happens to a lot of us, right? When we have an especially bad day, everything seems to go wrong, and you have no power, you have no ability to change it. That's when you can say, Well, I lost my keys this morning, I had an accident with my car. Well, it was just one of those things that added to the chaos of my day. Our next expression is a thing of the past. Well, as you can tell, the word past refers to something that has already happened, and therefore the meaning is referring to something which is old-fashioned, or you're trying to say that this is a thing that only older people from the older generation are interested in. So, searching on Google will soon become a thing of the past. Well, Google was supposed to be like the best thing that ever happened, but now with AI and so many other tools, well, people say that searching on Google might become an old-fashioned thing that only the older generation may use. Well, we don't know, but let's have a look if that really happens. In the meantime, we'll go on to our next expression, which is the in thing. Now, I have put in inverted commas because in refers to something very unique over here. What does it refer to? It refers to something that is fashionable or very trendy. Okay, anything which is in fashion. It's the opposite of the previous expression, isn't it? Anyway, in a sentence you could say, in the 90s, high-waist, hipster-styled pants were the in thing. Okay, well, in the 90s, these were some kind of pants where you sort of wore them all the way up to your upper waist, and they were fashionable, they were trendy. So in other words, they were the in thing. Well, what is the in thing right now? I'm not very sure, but if you know, please put them in the comments below. We'll look at our next expression, which is for one thing. Now, let me tell you that this phrase, it does not really have its own meaning. It has no meaning of its own. However, it is used at the beginning of a sentence. It's sort of a transition phrase, and it's used at the beginning of a sentence to give a reason for something. So when you're explaining something, as you want to start giving a reason, you've got to start doing that by using this expression. How do you do that? Let's have a look. I won't be watching the match at the stadium. Now you want to give a reason. So you say, for one thing, those tickets are too expensive, right? So when you're explaining something to someone, maybe in a group discussion in your office or with your colleague at work, you can use this. You can say, for one thing, well, this is the reason, okay? This is a great way of giving a reason, and it sounds so natural, and you sound like a nice fluent speaker, which is what we want to do, right? Anyway, moving on to our next expression, which is, it's a good thing that. Now again, I believe that this phrase, it does not have an inherent meaning of its own, but it is again used to explain something that you are going to talk about. So this is a phrase that is used to express how fortunate or lucky, the other word for fortunate is lucky, how lucky you are about something you did or something that happened. So sometimes we're lucky because we ended up doing something or something just ended up happening to us. So it's a good thing. When that happens, we say, it's a good thing that we left early for the airport, or we would have definitely missed our flight because of traffic. How many of you agree that sometimes we fortunately end up doing something even though we did not intend to do it, but that thing turned out to be lucky for us, right? When that happens, you can say, it's a good thing, and then express what is it that was fortunate for you. Okay? Please make those sentences in the comments below. Well, our next expression is also very interesting. It says a thing or two. What does that mean? This is a very simple expression which is used to refer to a few things. Not many things, but a few things. So, in a sentence you could say, this boot camp taught us a thing or two about self-discipline. It was really, really useful. In fact, I would suggest that you use this phrase when you are referring to things that you cannot quantify. Well, self-discipline is a skill. You can't really quantify what you've learned about it. That's when you will use this phrase, which sort of talks about everything that you've learned about self-discipline. Well, these are our expressions with the word thing in it. Are these not interesting phrases? Well, you must use these expressions. You know why? For one thing, I'm giving a reason now. For one thing, these phrases will make you sound natural and fluent. And yes, as I was talking about being natural and fluent, do not forget to check the link in the description for our course, which gives you those 400 phrases where you learn everything that you have to learn about natural English. So go ahead, learn natural English and sound like a native speaker and speak naturally. I'll see you back with some more lessons. Until then, this is me saying bye.